I have had to change my opening commentary 3 times this morning as the stock market can't quite decide where it wants to go. But it apparently is still completely feeding off of what the bonds are doing. So as we get into 10 minutes past the opening, the bonds are in fact recovering. The 10 years are recovering. And last time I checked, also the 2 years are recovering. So it is making the stock market now go up, where the stock market was very mixed and Tesla was down. Now Tesla is up. So boy, it's one of those days. I'm not sure that we're going to be knowing what the direction is going to be for a while here. But one thing I know for sure is that the Tesla bulls are currently losing on the narrative. That HSB report is winning. Because Tesla has a high PE, the story needs to be intact. The investing world now has multiple choices as how to view Tesla. Which one is right? I know which one I think is right. Tesla is reaching for the green this morning and is now in the green. We'll see what happens as the day progresses. But let's take a look at where the story stands right now. This is Randy Kirk. You know what to do. You hit the like and then you hit subscribe, you hit notify. We later today, I'm going to review Elon's talk yesterday. What was important in there, not just about Tesla, but generally there was things in there I think that you want to know and should know about the way Elon thinks that affect how this stock works. All right. And then later today, of course, got Larry Goldberg helping with the show tonight on Good News Friday. So hit notify so you'll be notified of all that. Again, I just want to thank everybody every single day for solid orders coming in on the Cybertruck. $25, you know the story. All the information is down below in the description. If you're ready to place your order, to paypal.me/Randy Kirk, all in lowercase letters, and join Patreon. Let's jump into today's theories, ideas, and expectations. So Dan Ives goes on CNBC yesterday, and what do they ask? Well, they want him on there because they want him to give the alternative to what the HSBC story had just reported. So Dan Ives says, look, I think in 5 to 9 months, the stock will be at 300 plus, not just 300, but 300 plus. He says he thinks that next year, the company will do 2.3 to 2.4 million units. Now, that's actually quite bullish. That would be at the far end of my bullish thinking for next year. We need to hit 2.53 roughly in order to get on the 50% per year track. I think this will be one of those years where we won't quite get to the 50% per year track because there just, quite frankly, isn't enough productive capacity to get there, I think. Now, yes, probably pulling out all stops if sales went crazy, if there was just tons and tons of orders and expectations for tons and tons more orders. Yeah, I think there's a lot of stops that could be pulled out to get us to much higher numbers, even than 2.5 million next year. But right now, given what we know, 2.4 would be a very good number for next year. So that's a bunch different from where HSBC is. Then you've got margins. He says 95% of the price cuts are done. So therefore, he's expecting margins to be growing from this point forward. I would agree with that. He is looking at the value of the company right now, the $300 would be $250 for the automotive division and only $30 to $40 per share for everything else. $50 per share for everything else. $30 to $40 per share, probably primarily for energy, and then the rest. But he also, Dan thinks that Tesla will, sell 8 million plus cars in 2030. HSB thinks it's like 5.5 million. Dan believes that there will be a significant sales from robotaxis going forward. But if he's got 250 for auto and $30 to $40 for everything else, where is the money? What is he putting in his share price that includes robotaxis? Anyway, he thinks he doesn't give any value to Optimus or Dojo. Now, that it doesn't mean that he went on the show and says, I'm not giving any value for Optimus or Dojo. He just has never really talked about Optimus or Dojo that I have seen, or given it any value that I have been able to ferret out. So then HSBC, they think that Tesla will only sell 5 million cars, 5.5 million cars in 2030. I think that's a ridiculous number. They're selling, let's call it 2 million cars, 1.8 million. They have easy capacity. They're selling at the rate of 2 million right now. We think that the Gen 3 car, it's hard to imagine that being less than 4 million. That's already at 6 million. That doesn't count semi-trucks. That doesn't count Cybertruck. It doesn't count new products that could come out between now. I mean, it's just 5.5 million is such a ridiculously low number that it makes no sense. But there's a huge difference between that and 8 to 10 million cars or 20 million cars, which is what Elon says that they will do. He gives value to basically every single division of Tesla, even Dojo. But all those valuations are super low, as if each of these companies is going to be, a $10 billion or $20 billion sales company. But if these companies succeed at all, they're going to be in the hundreds of billions. So that's very odd. The report is 110 pages long, according to Gary Black. I haven't seen it. He says it's filled with charts that are quite useful and interesting. But he says that this idea of going back to the mean of selling, increasing sales on the cars at 15 to 18% per year is absolute nonsense. So HSBC has their idea. Kathy Wood, she has a completely other idea. She thinks Tesla will turn into a robotaxi business where almost the entire stock value will be driven by massive income from the taxi business. And actually, Elon has said that as well. Although he certainly believes that if Dojo comes out, it's a massive business. He believes that the Optimus will be the biggest company ever in the history of the world and will be much larger than the robotaxi business. So that's a lot of different visions. Which of these visions are true? Well, I think folks should listen to Elon. I think they should pay close attention to the underlying fundamental and massive advantage, huge numbers of advantages that Tesla is known to have, and then never bet against Elon. I mean, the HSBC, to the extent that I've been able to see the thing, by the way, if you have it, if you know somebody that has it, could you contact me? Could you get me a copy? I'd like to see the entire thing. But even that was talking about that Elon is brilliant, that it's a problem of him being a single man, of the idea of what something could happen to Elon. So we know that Tesla has massive advantages on so many things, like ROIC, like their ability to manufacture, like all of their capabilities with regard to the engineering team that they've assembled. I mean, it just goes on and on. Even the other companies are advantages. And then we all know what Elon can do. We have so many examples of his successes. I mean, it just goes on and on. Whether you start back with PayPal and you go to the 5 companies that he's running now, the Twitter problem where everybody's like, oh, Twitter's going to, die. Well, it looks like Twitter is going to be way more successful than anybody ever dreamed, except me and maybe you. So I see, everywhere I look, I see billion-dollar divisions of Tesla, tens of billions of dollar divisions, hundreds of billion-dollar divisions of Tesla, tens of billions of dollar divisions of SpaceX. I see Neuralink and the Boring Company doing quite well, thank you, with valuations in the billions of dollars now. The only failure I can even find is the solar division, and maybe someday that'll be successful, but it has apparently some great product ideas, but where are the products? Anyway, so you don't bet against Elon because he always, as he says, he might not be on time, but he always gets it done. He said that again in his talk with Lex Fridman yesterday. All right, so what in the world does Tesla? I have so I'm trying to read my own writing here. So in what world, that's what it says, in what world does Tesla not continue to increase sales of the Model Y and the Model 3? The Model 3 is obviously going to be a killer next year. The Model Y is continuing to show increases. And then add this Cybertruck, and then add massive sales of multiple times of vehicles on the Gen 3 platform, and then start to sell robotaxi specific vehicles that don't even have steering wheels are pedals. I'm trying to imagine Tesla less than 10 million cars in 2030. I cannot imagine how they don't do that. And then you add semi-truck. Then energy storage is another one. But here's the issue. We have one factory and another one is probably being built. And it doesn't look like a hard business to scale. And I've done multiple episodes on the massive TAM, but the street isn't catching on to it. And that's what caused me to all of a sudden go, okay, I've been talking about this now for ever since, I think, March. In March, I started saying, where's the Mexico factory? In April, I asked on multiple shows, not just on my own show, where's the Mexico factory? We are at the end of the year now. There's no shovels in the ground. And so where's the shovels in the ground in Reno? Where are the shovels in the ground on that factory in Shanghai? Where are the shovels in the ground in Berlin? We have all kinds of conversations. Where is the decision on India? Where is the next gigafactory going to go that was promised at the end of last year? So we have a situation here, I think, where there might be a little bit of exhaustion on the part of those folks that are in the middle, not uber bulls like you and me. We know that this will all get done. It's just a matter of which month, and it doesn't matter which month because we're in it for the long haul. But there's not everybody is like you and me. So other people are sitting there just asking the same question I just asked, where are the shovels? We're going to need to see some shovels, I think, in order to get things going again. I talked about all the huge catalysts that we have. Most of those catalysts require shovels. Where are the shovels, Elon? So the Optimus, the FSD, the Robotaxi, these are all game changers. We don't know when they're coming. We don't have, in those particular cases, we don't have the glue on those either, okay? We in a way, we don't have the shovels on Optimus and we don't have the shovels on Robotaxi or FSD. We're waiting for version 12. We're waiting for multiple Optimi to be doing useful things on camera or in person, maybe in 3 weeks. I mean, yeah, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. What is today, the 10th? In 3 weeks at Austin, maybe we'll see in real life Optimi doing useful tasks. Remember, I've got that question that I'm going to be answering it in the lunch hour today. Elon says that his goal for Optimus is to be able to pick up a needle and a thread and put the thread through the needle like Huck Finn. You know, does he bring the needle to, or the thread to? Anyway, we've got that issue. And when is that supposed to happen? When does Elon think that he'll actually accomplish that task? And if that is even in the realm of possibility, then Optimus must be moving along very, very rapidly in its capabilities. But we need shovel ready. We need to see an Optimus doing these things in a way that makes us believe. We need to see a Robotaxi line a Optimus line where Optimi are being built, and preferably by other Optimi. We need to see, as I mentioned, version 12. Okay, so I think it's about shovels on the ground at this point. So Lars did a review of the Model 3, very good review. You should take a look at it. I pretty much knew everything that was in the review. There was a couple of small minor issues that were new, but he did a really nice job on the video. And he said he loved the car. He said the steering wheel was great. He says, you know, not having stalks, no problem, easy to get used to. I mean, how much harder can it be to get used to not having stalks than it was to getting used to not having a brake? I mean, okay, there's a brake there, but you never use it. So that was a little harder to get used to. It took me about 15 minutes. I did see one article that is expecting the new normal in the economy to be like the Roaring 20s, but they gave no reason why. That was the interesting. I read the whole article and was like, well, how are you basing this? I think the reason why, I don't think it'll be like the Roaring 20s, but I think it could be an amazing next 7 years. I think it'll be an incredible next 7 years because of all of these huge breakthrough technologies that are coming or that are already here, like GPT, like robotaxis, massive wealth going to be coming from these productivity items. It's going to be like nothing we've ever seen before, and the article never even says that. Anyway, bonds have decided that Powell's speech and the hard sell for treasuries yesterday was not a signal for a new direction, so the bargain hunters are pouring into bonds this morning. Last time I looked, and we'll look in 2 seconds here, and we've got the CPI next Tuesday, the PPI next Wednesday, and that will set the tone for the rest of November, because folks have not gotten over inflation. Even though inflation is done, they have not gotten over the interest rate issue, even though apparently the bond market is beginning to show us the future direction. So in every other day this week, Tesla opened down, even though the market was up. That happened again this morning, but last time I checked, Tesla was up along with the market. Let's see where it is now, as we do every morning about this time. My phone is not working. Oh, here we go. Okay. What we've got is, we have got Tesla up 1%. We've got the S&P up 0.5%. We've got NASDAQ up 0.7%, and we've got the Dow Jones up 0.24%. So this morning, at this exact moment, Tesla is acting a little bit more like normal Tesla, being up more than the NASDAQ. Typically, it would be up double to triple the NASDAQ, and now it is, in fact, as we speak, it is up 1.15%, but it's still not 1.5 or more, which it should be, based on its normal tracking. The rest of the Magnificent Seven are all in the green, and the Cathie Woods, though, are mixed. And with the bonds doing so well, you would expect the Cathie Wood stocks to all be in the green substantially. Okay, let's go and take a look and make sure that those bonds are still going the direction that we think. Okay, we've got the 10-year down 0.36%. Down 3.5 basis points, now under 4.6% again on the interest rate. We have got the 2-year down only 2.5%, and we've got the 2-month actually up, where the 2-month is continuing to invert, and to a lesser degree, the 2-year is also continuing to invert. More, getting a wider inversion rather than narrowing, which it had been doing for the last couple of weeks. So that's where the bonds are. Let's look at the rest of that story. We have got, as mentioned, we have got the actual markets this morning. The Dow Jones up 74 or 0.21%. This S&P up $15 or 0.36. The NASDAQ up 83 or 0.62. And we've got the Bitcoins up 725 at 37,000 and change. We've got the dollar up and going to have a great week, apparently. We have gold down $21 more at 1948. It looks like it's going to go back and test 1900 again. We've got oil up $1 this morning at 76.70. But man, again, who knew, who dreamed that oil was going to be in this position even a week ago? It is just crushed. And that's good for inflation. And then, of course, we just talked about the bonds. So if we go back and take another look, because Tesla was moving around a lot, Tesla is now about $1.57 up or 0.75%. So it has come down from where it is ticking down. All the markets are ticking down. Everything is ticking down after the little run up this morning. That's kind of, I'm thinking this Friday, we can see a flat day, no real direction, a lot of confusion. There's no news to drive the market today, or no expected news to drive the market today. So it's possible that people will be trying to reestablish what they think the direction of everything is today, because it isn't. We're back to that lack of clarity. I think not a lot of clarity from the pundits this morning that I've looked at. Now, maybe we'll see more by the end of the day. Larry Goldberg will be there in the afternoon, late afternoon, around 5 o'clock is when I'll publish. That show will be, I have a chance to look for more clarity. What happened today that might give us, some more? Let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think that the short term is going to be rough sledding to the end of the year? A lot of people have been saying, November, December should be very much an up time for the market, which would probably carry Tesla along with it. What do you think about Cybertruck? Is it going to impact Tesla's stock price through the rest of the year? Love to know what you're thinking. At the midday today, I'm going to be talking about what happened with Elon yesterday. Very, very good podcast with Lex Fridman. Some useful stuff. I'll talk about that at the lunch hour today. And then, you want to participate in the Patreon. I will tell you that I've only posted a couple of things so far this week. Why? I want to make it clear, because I'm only posting when I think there's breaking news that is valuable enough that you would want me to interrupt your email in order to let you know about it. And this week, the news, if the news has been there, it has been perfectly okay for you to hear about it. I think, in my opinion, that the news is not so earth-shattering that you need to hear about it until my next video. So that's how I decide. I don't want to fill up your inbox with, 5 or 10 different news breaking things all day long. Only when I see something I think that you're going to find valuable. And this week, the news, like even Powell's speech, it wasn't earth-shattering. It wasn't the kind of thing. Yes, the market went, down as a result of it. But quite frankly, I think that the market went down because it wanted to go down, and it just used that as an excuse. The news wasn't that crazy. Okay, so you can join Patreon for $5 a month. You probably have $5 a month you could spend on that. If you don't, do not do it, please. Or you can do it at the $10 level if you really want to help out the channel. And if you do the $10 level, you can get one of these for free in either camo or stainless steel. Please let me know which one you want. All right. I think that we've done enough today, although I do always go back with one more fun check on Tesla. And it is now down 0.71 or, 71 cents, which is less than a full percent. Okay, that's it. It has been great talking to you. See you later today.